Welcome back everyone to the Stephen Sully Study. I'm at my second home, Woodbury house, and I've got a fabulous guest in front of me, Eve De Haa. Thank you very much for coming on board.
Well, thank you for having me.
I'm going to jump straight into it. Normally, I ask the guests about your background, how you got into art, your education, your family, all that kind of stuff. But rather than doing that, I'm just going to jump into a question that I know I had when I first met you, which is your artist name, Half a Roast Chicken. Yeah? How did you come up with that? What does it mean? And was that something that you always went by, or was it something you developed into?
Do you know what? When I first left uni and I wanted to take this seriously and do it full time, I was like, oh, shall I just do it and call myself my name? And I was like, actually, do you know what? I want to call myself something completely unrelated to what I'm doing. So it was almost took a little bit of pressure off me at the beginning.
Yeah.
So when I was making art, it was almost with not fake personality, but like a different.
It's like an alias type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a stage name.
Yeah, exactly. And it gave me a bit more freedom to kind of feel like I could just make whatever I wanted to make. And then I kind of stuck with it, and I like it. I don't know. Everyone asks that, but literally there's no link between what I make and my name.
Yeah. So did you one day brainstorm it, or just hit you? You just said Half a Roast Chicken. Yeah, that makes sense.
It just kept, I think when I was doing my first pop-up, I was like, what should I call the pop-up? And then I was like, I must have been going through a phase where I was eating a lot of chicken. I don't know, but I just had it. And I was like, if I saw that on a shop, I would walk in.
Yeah.
And I like the idea that if it wasn't actually a chicken shop, but it was.
Yeah.
So that was.
Do you know what? I've never said this to you, right? I was actually in this very room, and it was one of the first times that you came down here. This was going back, I think, 2017-ish, before the show that we done in Sunningdale at Greens for him. And you come in. This is because I don't eat meat no more. I haven't eaten meat for like 2 and a bit years. And you came in and you said, "What are you eating there?" And I was eating half a roast chicken, and I nearly cracked out a stupid joke, and I thought, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, I just always remember that. So I've written down some of your art slogans, which are some of my favourites.
Okay.
So, do not trust robots. Mm-hmm. It's all good, baby. Stop listening to rumours made by computers, which is actually one of my favourites. It's not a neon, it's on the plastic.
Yeah, it's on an acrylic.
Which is really cool. And one that I haven't written down because I'll just remember it because I own it, is Power to the Peaceful, which is a piece that I bought off you a few years ago. What do the slogans mean, and how come, that I know you as a neon artist, but you're not just a neon artist. You've dovetailed into many different mediums. But if I ever were to describe you that as an artist, that would be the first thing that comes to my mind. So 1, how come neon? And 2, how come these slogans?
Yeah, so neon I thought was the perfect medium to use to kind of express what I was trying to relay. And I just think neon, you can't ignore it. It's very in your face. And I really love that. And I realized over time that neon almost kind of changes the meaning of a word. So the light and the imposing nature of it changes a word that would be, let's say if you just had it on a sticker, it would mean something completely different than if it's in a neon. And I thought that was fascinating. It's almost like the light changes the meaning.
Yeah.
It adds shade to the meaning. And I'm obsessed with words and semantics, and I think it's really powerful how words' meanings change.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to explore in my artwork as well. Is a word now will mean something completely different than it did 15 years ago. And
definitely.
I feel when you use neon, it's a good way of kind of showing that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And it's also if you were to put something quite profound or something which is on, some people might perceive it borderline as a bit of a risky word to say, but the moment it's in neon, it can soften it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it can highlight it.
Exactly.
But specifically, then, do not trust robots. I mean, I've loved that. I think it's fun. But what does that mean to you? How come you come up with that?
I've always been skeptical of.
Me too.
Technology. I'm one of those old ladies. I'm going to be at home. I don't have this. I don't have that. Because I just think that it's growing at such a rapid rate that we don't know what the effects of it going to be. And I think technology is amazing and certain aspects of it are incredible, but there's some things that I just feel because of the progression happening so quickly that we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing that you can connect to people all around the world. Mm-hmm. Like when I've had athletes, for example, on my podcast, maybe a footballer or a boxer, it's mad because I've contacted them for social media. Now, when I was a kid, there was no such thing as really the internet, and there was definitely no social media. But now I can connect to these people, which is fantastic. Yeah. It means I can grow the audience, I can grow my network, and things are great. The downside to it is there is so much, like algorithms and things collecting your data all the time, and you don't know if that's being used for good or bad. And then there's like fake stuff. It's a bit of a minefield out there. So I kind of guess reading that was maybe affiliated to that a little bit.
No, exactly that. You're right. Like communication wise, it's amazing. Helping people get together, be closer together is a good thing. But I think, self-perception, compare culture, all of this, I think is accentuated, sorry.
Yeah.
Through social media, through technology. And I worry about, I've got a daughter, and I worry about when she gets older, like the effect of Instagram, for instance, like how she's going to deal with that when she gets older. So I think that piece of art, Do Not Trust Robots, was almost like a funny way of me just kind of reminding people, like, don't just take everything as it seems. Ask more questions. Check more things.
I'm having a bit of a debate with my old man at the moment about this sort of subject, because he's from the old school, like only looks at kind of, let's say, mainstream media, and it won't agree with anything on the internet. But then vice versa, some other people that I speak to will only agree with things on the internet and won't go near the mainstream media. And I think what you just said there, I'm very similar to you in regards to, I've got a son, Mason, 2 and a bit years of age, and my sort of, he's still too young really to understand what I'm talking about, but challenge everything. If something doesn't make sense in your own mind and your gut is saying to you, that doesn't really make sense, challenge it. And I think some of these slogans is reminding people to do that.
Yeah, I think it's important. We should all ask more questions, for sure.
Definitely. On the last night of social media then, I mean, I know, you've grown your own social media. I think last time I checked was over 10,000, 11,000 on Instagram.
Who knows?
Would you say, like, when it comes down to selling your work or selling yourself as a profile to like collab with some of the great names you've worked alongside, like Nike, Tate Modern, Saatchi? I mean, these are big, powerful names. Do you think like the social media helps you do that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's almost where the conundrum is, because you almost need it. Because I'm quite a private person, and I'd prefer not to have Instagram, but I feel like it's almost like you have to have it. And a lot of my work and a lot of my sales come through Instagram, so it's like a weird relationship I have with it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely necessary in this day and age, I think. I think if you're an established older artist, you don't really need it.
Yeah. Because just going on that subject again about children and stuff, I mean, the advice, like I said, is to challenge everything, but also at the same time, when you're going to use social media, try and use it as a benefit rather than something that's going to mess your mind up.
Yeah.
There's so much mental health issues at the moment because people are comparing themselves to other people, the Joneses, so to speak, and they're following other people's lives that might not be so real.
Yeah, compare culture, it's dangerous.
Yeah, and as an artist, you're going to be, a lot of people are going to look at you and they're going to admire what you do and see you as a bit of a role model. So is there any kind of advice you would say to someone coming up, whether they're an artist, whether they're a young person and thinking, I'm getting too attached to this social media now? Is there a bit of advice that you would give to anyone?
Yeah, I think do you know what the beauty of Instagram is? That everyone is a role model now. And I like the visibility. I really do like that part of it. But I think it's all about, discipline, not being on it for too long. Don't check it first thing in the morning. Don't check it last thing at night. And just if it's changing your mood, that's when I think it's dangerous.
Yeah.
When you go on and you either feel happy or you feel sad.
Yeah.
I just think, ooh.
Yeah.
Time to get off.
So to round that off then, don't let it control you. You got to control it. Yeah. And I've read a lot of like self-development books and things like that. And it definitely says like in the first hour of your day, make sure you're not on it. Before you go to bed, make sure you have a good hour or so before you go to bed, not being on it. Because if you do, it just plays in your mind too much. But at the same time, to scale businesses, to get your brand out there, to get your artwork out there, unfortunately, you kind of need it these days.
Yeah,
you know?
It's a difficult one. Balance, I guess.
Definitely. So, Neon's in, okay? So, how old are you now?
I'm 28.
28, okay. So, was you always as an artist, like, so from when you was a young girl to like, I don't know if you went to university or got educated or qualified in art, did you do that?
No.
Self-taught?
Self-taught. I've just been painting actually probably for the longest, but I did theology at uni, which is has no, like, it's the most unemployable subject you can study, I think, but I loved it. Like, again, it's like the study of words, and obviously beliefs, traditions, cultures, which I'm really passionate about.
Because the reason why I was going to ask you this, I always have the same question with like footballers, people in music, artists, whoever. Is it nurture or is it nature?
It's both.
You reckon?
Yeah, it's a balance.
Okay.
I really think you can't separate the two.
Okay.
And I think people's understandings of what nature and nurture are so different. So it's almost impossible to have that debate with someone.
Yeah. And so when did you sort of evolve out of, I know you're not out of painting because I know you still do some stuff, but like when did you have the idea of just going into the neons? And like, let's have it right. I don't know if you can shape words and you can wire up, you know, a piece of neon. I'm not too sure if you can, but for me, I'll look at that and think, bloody hell, that seems bloody hard to do. You know, it might look simple, but it's actually quite hard to do, probably.
No, it's beautiful. The neon as an art form is amazing. It's beautiful and it's very intricate, delicate, but it's also like very fierce. I love it. When I was at uni, actually, I went on a course up in Bradford, and that's where I just fell in love with it. Yeah. So from then, I was like, I love how you can make a painting and then you can turn it into a neon, and it's just there's a lot of freedom with it, and it's powerful. Yeah, like, I love, and my favorite part about a neon is like the meticulous nature of putting it all together, wiring it. That I love. I think that's the fun part.
So with art, what I like about it as well, bearing in mind I'm always transparent with people, even collectors who come down here, I'm not from the art market per se. I just found myself right place, right time, found an artist via his art dealer, Richard Hambleton, a guy called Andy Valmorbida presented the opportunity to me and I ran with it. And what I like about this sector is very interesting. Obviously, you can make some good revenue from it if you're good at what you do and you give value to your audience. But also, it's a lifestyle. You know, what I've realised with art, it is a lifestyle. So you can go from London to America to different parts of Europe, and you can travel the world and do shows. Yourself, I know you've travelled a bit with your work. So where the type of places you've gone, you know, visited and worked in?
Well, do you know what? First of all, I love what you said there. I think I heard another artist talking about this the other day, and they were saying when you come into this world, you have like an instinct to make a mark, and that instinct of making a mark is a way of communicating, and that is art. So I think that's what you explained, and I think that's really, really important actually. But yeah, traveling, I've been really, really lucky to have had some shows in America, LA. That was probably one of my favorite trips, the Museum of Neon in LA.
Yes, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a part of like an all-female collective called She Bends.
Nice.
It's an honour actually to be a part of, but I travelled out there to do a group exhibition, which was just amazing.
Did they hit you up about it, or was it something you put yourself forward?
No, do you know what? I met a lovely girl, Romilly Alice, who's a neon artist, a British neon artist, and she hooked me up actually with them, introduced me, and then it was just like history from there. They're just amazing, just a group of really like strong, artistic women that are all in neon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And the future then. So over the next, I know we're in this weird time with coronavirus and stuff. Hopefully it passes soon. Yeah. So goals over the next 12, 18, 24 months, what have you got planned? Have you got any collaborations? Are you going to change your medium? Have you got any kind of exciting projects that you might not be able to fully expose yet? What's happening in your working world?
Yeah, this year's been really exciting actually. I've got an exciting project coming up with a climate change charity and creative debuts, which is really, really exciting, which I'm doing next month. I've started the artwork, should be finished next month. And then I've got a show on at the moment in East on Red Church Street, which is on until mid-April.
Okay.
And then, just a few shows that I've been working on which are very, very exciting, which should be coming out around summertime.
Good stuff.
Yeah. And then yeah, I'm just rolling with it. Anything that comes my way, hopefully, like I'll get on board. And I'm excited to kind of make new forms of, like, I've introduced more mediums with the neon. So
Okay.
I'm excited to explore that more.
Yeah.
So adding kind of,
Yeah, because I like some of the pieces that you got here. I think it's this one actually. It's All Good Baby Baby,
Yeah.
where you've got actually got the neon in front, but then behind it's almost like you got the stickers.
yeah, the Monaco cats, the gold cat.
Yeah, beautiful. Really, really cool.
Yeah, it's more fun, isn't it, when there's more mediums in one. But yeah, I'm just excited. I'm in a good stage of my life. I'm a mum, obviously, and I'm just trying to balance being a mum and a creative. And I just think it's just getting better. Actually, I'm enjoying it more and more.
I was going to ask you, is there any tricks to that? Because my wife, it always feels weird saying that. I always call her my missus, but she's really more than that. But anyway, Emma, she runs our property company, but she has Mason, and sometimes I get home and it's either good day or not so good day, and it's quite tough. And I sometimes feel a bit bad because I'm here, working away and trying to build up the company, but at the same time, I want her to have the support. Yeah. And I think sometimes, is there a book of like tips? Like, is there any? So like, do you have any tips for young mums who are trying to become entrepreneurs or creative people, balancing that social life, family life, creativity? Because what I was going to get to as well, I'm sort of running ahead here, but you've got your artwork, you've got the marketing of your artwork, you've got to build your own brand, you've got the business side of it, you've got a plan, you've got to have a vision, you've got to have a roadmap, it's not just about bending some neons and that's you're an artist. So what's the tips as like being a mum and stuff and working away?
Yeah, do you know what? Anyone that's doing it, well done. It's not easy, but it's fun. And I think not putting too much pressure on yourself. And I don't think you have to separate yourself. I know lots of people say, oh, you have to have time to be yourself and then a mum. I just think you're just one, and you just work out a good balance for yourself. Everyone's individual. Yeah. Everyone has a different kind of understanding of what balance is. And I don't know, I'm really enjoying it. I just do everything with my daughter. So I do accounts, she's with me. When I'm painting, she's with me. Like, honestly, it's just, I think it's your outlook, and it's just whatever you can handle. Yeah. And there's no judgment. Yeah. But I think just enjoy all of it. And for me, breaking down all those bits that you said, I just try and kind of schedule my week to do one day, one thing. Yeah. Like you said, it's lots of things like taxes, marketing, actually creating the work, sending the work out. It's a lot, but it's fun. Did you,
so this is a question like more about, maybe for an artist, but more entrepreneurs. Yeah. So like, because as an artist, you are an entrepreneur. You're trying to close deals, trying to do work with like collabs or sign up. I know, with a massive organisation like Saatchi. So you need to sell yourself. Who kind of taught you, or did you have any role models, or did you get any influence or education or mentorship from anybody? Because, some people might be really good at art, but if the wider world don't know about your art, then you're just a good artist that no one's heard of. Yeah. But clearly you've got a bit of both and you're gaining traction. So how did that happen?
Do you know what? All around me, actually, I'm inspired by everyone. There's so many incredible people around me. My sister, she runs her own underwear brand. She's done it. It's just incredible, edge of beyond. So I'm always like back and forth with her, asking for her advice. She's older than me, so.
Isn't your brother as well a racing car driver?
Yes, yeah.
Mate, you're from a family of winners, isn't you?
Thank you. No, I love all my family. Everyone's got their thing that they do, all so different. But everyone around me, my mum and dad have been inspirational to me. My partner, everyone, like my brothers, my other sister, just everyone around me, actually. But I think the main point of it is that I don't understand it all. I definitely don't profess to know how to do it, and I've got a long way ahead of me, but it's just about just trying. I don't think there's any rule book or like right or wrong way of doing it, as long as you just get up in the morning, start, try. Because,
like going back to social media, the old saying is, people only see what they want you to see by posting what they want almost. So they don't see, you don't necessarily see people's flaws. And it's good to have an honest conversation like this, because you're going to have a lot of success, but there's also going to be some setbacks.
Yeah.
Is there any setbacks or challenges that you had and you thought, you know what, in hindsight, I could have done something slightly different, something slightly better, just so someone who might be listening to this thinks, you know what, that was a good bit of advice there?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds cliche, but every setback will just be a learning curve. You just got to keep moving forwards. That's what I really tell myself every day. Like, there's no failing, like, when you're trying.
Yeah.
I know that's cliche, but there really isn't.
Yeah, super true. Yeah. So the art market, okay. I know you're very young in your art career.
Yes.
You are a very young lady anyway.
I don't know.
If you look at all the greats, they've had 20, 30, 40 years to learn their craft, and they also studied the art market. But in the relatively short time and the success you've had, how have you seen it grown, evolve, and change slightly? Because again, internet and stuff is affected it. Corona, recent years, might have affected the landscape of art. I've certainly noticed a difference, which I can share with you, but I just wanted to get your view on it. How's it all evolved?
Yeah, I mean, social media has definitely evolved since I started. It's definitely become more of a tool to sell my artwork, which is a good thing. I think Corona's obviously halted a lot of physical, it's difficult to go and physically see art at the moment, but I think we're, as a community, finding new ways. Obviously, online exhibitions, they're happening all the time now, aren't they? Window exhibitions. So that's shifted. I don't really know. What things do you think?
Well, what we're doing as a brand is something that we were toying with for some time, but I guess we got stuck in comfort zones. There is a bit of a rule of thought, which is stick to what you know, and if you can stick to what you know, you'd always do well. But then at the same time, the argument is, if you don't venture into new territory, you never know what could have been. We've always dealt with we've always dealt with Hambleton, and we're kind of right place, right time, and we're riding the market, so to speak. But today's collectors, everyone's got a shelf life, and the new collectors, who are the younger demographic, who don't necessarily have 20, 30, 40, 50,000 pound upwards to invest. They do like the artwork, but they're coming in at a more affordable level at merchandise, collectibles, limited editions, etc. So what we've done now is set up an online e-commerce store. But what we want to do is storytell. So we don't want to just jump from one artist to the other just because you can make a quick buck. We want to storytell, we want to have affiliates to Hambleton and dovetail into these, other people that are not as recognised and build up their market. But the way we're going to do it is by doing collaborations with clothing companies, for example. So if you can't afford a £10,000, £20,000 canvas that you want to collect or invest or hold, then you can buy, one of the merchandise or cool collectible items. Yeah. And for us, I mean, we're fortunate because round the corner from this studio, we've got Supreme. And Supreme is a clothing company worth over $1 billion, very, very successful. When they do a drop, there is a line of I was going to say kids. It's not even kids. There's a mixture of people, but it goes around the corner. And what we're learning even from that, just even watching that, is people will queue up and literally buy into really cool, not necessarily expensive things, but things that they perceive are unique. And what we want to try and bring to the market is art for the masses, but quite unique stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's basically in long-winded form how we've evolved as a company. We haven't nailed it yet. We're still learning on the job, and we're still getting a lot of influence and taking a bit of time. But that's what we're doing. We want to have the blue chip art, which is the advisory side, but going into the more collectibles and building up the company that way. So do you see your kind of art doing that? I guess where you're at the start of your journey, you want to become, I guess, in the future, a blue chip artist. Mm-hmm. Someone like a Tracy Emin, for example. Yeah, that'd be amazing. So what is the roadmap? How does that look like to get in there?
Consistency, and I think just consistency is the word that rings in my head. Just keep going, keep trying, and not giving up. I'm just going to keep going until I've made it, basically. Yeah, fair enough. And I don't think you ever make it, so hopefully I'll just do it forever.
Yeah, and so talk about Tracy Emin. I've got to be honest. I don't know loads and loads and loads of different sort of neon artists. Mm-hmm. She's the one that always jumps out to me. Partly because as well, when I pull up into King's Cross, I see that massive neon sign, which I think is absolutely incredible. The amount of people that must have had pictures next to that
I know.
is insane. People like her, or is there anyone else like in that space that you've got a lot of inspiration from?
So many. I could literally list you so many. On the She Bends Instagram account, you'll be able to see all the women that are involved in it.
Yep.
There's honestly buckets full. Meryl Patake, she's very inspiring to me. She does really, really cool work. Literally, I could go. Shall I read you some?
Go on. Because there's another female artist goes by the name of Lauren Baker.
Yes, she's great.
Because everyone sometimes mistakes Lauren out because her name's Lauren Barker. She's been asked a few times, "Oh, you're the artist." Because she's working in Woodbury House, they think it's her. We've had that a few times, but yeah, she's very, very cool.
Yeah, she's very great. She's doing great things actually. I like her work a lot.
Yeah.
And again, I'm proud that she's a female doing it.
Yeah.
I think because it used to be a very male-orientated kind of network, and I think now the women are starting to push through.
I think with like sport, music, not so much music actually. I'll change that, but definitely art. I would say, in my own opinion, that has been predominantly dominated by men.
Yeah.
But now it seems like it's becoming a bit more of a fair playing ground.
Yeah.
So what's your view on like, females and how they're pioneering and blazing the trail in the art sector? How do you see that unfolding over the next few years?
Yeah, I think it's an exciting time for all of us. I think women are pushing through, and I'm excited to see more women of colour in art as well. I just think things are progressing. Things are only getting better.
Definitely. Is there any big names that you'd like to collab with? Like people like Converse or people like Adidas or people like anyone like that?
Big name. Oh, good question. Who would I like to collaborate? Well, I mean, my dreams obviously are to collaborate with the big museums.
Okay.
If you can call that a collaboration, but yeah, the Tate. I would love to work with the Tate again. I would. Brands. I don't know. That's a weird question. I don't know.
No.
I've not thought of that. Do you know what I'm excited to do is to work with more artists actually as well.
Okay. Anyone on your wish list? If you could say right now, top 5 people you love to work with.
Put me on the spot. Okay. There's one lady, Rose Wiley.
Okay.
She's in her 80s, I think.
Okay.
I love her work. She's fantastic. She's a painter. She found her fame in her 70s, and her work is just unapologetic. I would love to work with her. Yeah, she's from my area where I grew up as well.
That's amazing. Yeah. 70s.
Yeah. She's Rose Wiley. She's fantastic. So she would be on there. Who else? Tracy Emin, obviously.
Yeah.
She's my icon. I think she's amazing. Who? I don't know. That's a hard question. I don't know.
So bar the neons, then there's other things that you've done on like table tennis rackets.
Yeah.
Do you call it that, or bats?
Yeah, ping
rackets
pong
or bats? I don't know. It don't matter, does it? Paddles. Glad I got George in the room. Paddles. And then there's been all kinds of different things. So like bar the neons, then what else are you known for?
Oh God, you tell me. I don't know what I'm known for. Do you know what? I just like taking everyday objects and making them into something, because around my house that's what I've got up on the walls, just like noodle packets, like wrappers. I'm obsessed with packaging. Because
I saw you do something with a globe recently.
Yeah.
That looks really cool.
Yeah, thank you. That's for the global warming charity, actually.
That's amazing.
So
you're wrapping it in gold leaf or tinsel?
Yeah, and I'm making it into like a garden. So I'm calling it Fortune Garden.
Nice. Is it going to be on for sale?
Yeah. And all the proceeds are going to go to the charity.
How much do you reckon it will go for?
I don't know.
Is it an auction?
Yeah. Do you know what? Everything's coming out, I think, at the end of the month. So
okay.
But I'm really excited about that, actually. But yeah, no. Making art on as many things other than paper, and I'm excited to do, actually.
That's good. That's good.
And I think other things that I'm doing as well. I'm starting to get more into. I'm doing this animation.
Yes.
Working on this animation, and then I'm also, hopefully, in the pipeline, trying to work on like a space, like a creative space as well. So kind of going into interior design a bit too.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So really becoming like a lifestyle artist. Like you're not just limited just to your art, but you can do kind of designing a hotel, for example.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we spoke about a lot. I had a guest on my podcast called Maximilian Cooper, owns the Gumball Rally. You probably know of him, yeah? I went to his headquarters, and the guy is a G anyway, yeah? But when I went to his place, it was so fitting to our vision. Like, me and Joe talk all the time about how can Woodbury House evolve, etc. And it was floors of... There was like a room full of collectible BMXs.
Was there?
There was blue chip art upstairs, from Futura to all these big names, like £1 million, £2 million pieces of art. And then you go to another room and it would be like car parts, and there would be like wicked photography. I was like, this is it. This is the vision. So, you know, we want to turn into that kind of lifestyle brand where we can help people with their podcasting, painters, come up with collaborations, clothing company, venture into music a little bit. I've been speaking to Jevon a little bit about it. Yeah, that's the kind of vision behind our company, and I'm guessing maybe you're going to have a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, I love that idea, and I love spaces like that. Yeah, to be honest, I don't want to limit myself to say I'm going to do one thing, and anything that is creative that I can put my mind to, I'll be happy to do.
Yeah, powerful. I wasn't going to ask you this, but when I said Jevon, it just sort of brought up a topic. NFTs.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Do you know much? Do you know much about them? And
I do.
I thought you would know.
I'm thinking about doing one. I've been umming and ahhing because I'm obviously not that tech savvy.
We had a clubhouse room.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
And I was on there acting like I knew what I was talking about.
Does anyone
I was like, yeah, of course, NFTs. Yeah, big time, mate. Yeah, loads of them, mate. I had not a clue. But I got Jevon on there. He knows a fair bit about it. And there was another female artist, a lady called Tammy, who is digital.
Okay, nice.
And what she said made a lot of sense. She said, like, people are now recognising that digital art is another medium of art. And she said that the perception before was, oh, yeah, you just get a bit of code and you just make a bit of art on a screen. And to be honest, if I showed my dad, he would say something like that. And the way she described it was, no, this is actually a new medium. So I kind of understand, but I still don't understand why someone ploughed millions into Beeple, which went under the auction for millions and millions and millions of dollars. I still don't understand the end user, at the moment, but maybe as I get educated, I'm going to still understand it. I will understand it. So just wanted to get that from you. Like,
yeah, the Beeple thing's really interesting actually, because he started making physical. Once you buy the NFT, you get actually like a physical bit of artwork as well. Because it's interesting, the relationship between like online art and physical art, because all the art we see is online anyways, but it's about, I guess, the difference if people find it more important to have something like they can physically put on their wall. And I guess that's changing, because we're on our phones all the time. And the way we see things are changing because it's all very screen directed.
My argument is, though, what happens if your house has a power cut?
Silly. No, because I don't think it's actually about displaying the artwork. I think it's more about ownership. And
but surely, if they're gonna, like, say, if you bought a £10 million piece of IP, which is digital form, you kind of want it in your gaff, don't you?
Yeah, but then you say that, but people who buy £10 million artwork that's worth £10 million, sometimes they'll copy it, don't they? And they put the copy in the house and store the original. Yeah.
Or what about cyber attacks? Someone nicks it, like takes it off your tablet.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't understand. Honestly, I don't understand.
That's what I'm a bit worried about. It's
and hacking and like somebody using your artwork and saying it's their artwork.
I feel like it's open for attack at the moment, you know. And do you know, like when people got all their Bitcoin and lose their wallet and they flushed £250,000 down the drain, like things like that. Like, I bought this £10 million bit of art, I can't open it because I forgot my login. Do you know what I mean?
I know. I've heard so many of those stories. I know. I guess the thing that's quite exciting about it, I guess, is that you can make money out of owning artwork. So every time the artwork increases in value, you get something back, don't you? That's quite exciting. Yeah. I guess I don't know. I'm still learning about it. I'm reading something new about it every day, and it's beyond me, to be honest. But it looks exciting. The Beeple thing was very exciting.
Very, very exciting.
Did you see? Like, actually, I quite liked how he did loads of different ones, didn't he?
So I think he done like all his like best ones in the last 10 years or whatever it was, and compiled them into one, and that's the one that fetched big money.
Yeah, right? Millions. Yeah. I'm just excited for anyone that's like succeeding. Like, I'm happy for him. That's amazing.
Yeah, from the business side of it, great. Getting recognition, because maybe before people only attached art to being canvas or whatever.
Yeah, how exciting is that?
Exactly.
Like, basically, I hate the fact that you have to be like boxed to be an artist. How anyone's an artist. Everyone is an artist.
It is, yeah. You said something as well there, which sometimes when I ask certain artists, it's a little bit like a taboo subject, but you got the creativity, and like some people that I meet in the art market, it's like, no, it's all about creativity. Do not talk about anything else. But the reality is, if you go to Chris's Sub-Biz of Phillips, there's a different story, which is the financial gain. How do you feel about it? Like, how do you feel about people trading it, or your own work in, like, let's say 5 years, 10 years, 20 years time is fetching millions of pounds under hammer? Would you be excited?
God, really?
Would you a bit, I know, how do you feel about it?
I mean, that's the dream, isn't it? Like, for your artwork to increase in value. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Why? It's part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are some people mad at that?
I've had conversations where, speaking to people, and they're like, no, you shouldn't really profit off of art. It should be just there to enjoy it.
Maybe it's about the balance, being able to do both. Artwork that's free for everyone.
Yeah.
That's why I quite like street art. That's why it's exciting as well, because that's becoming bigger and bigger, isn't it?
Definitely.
But also, I think you can monetize off your work just like in any other industry.
Yeah. For sure.
Oh, yeah, that's I had a hard question. Don't put that one in there.
It is a hard question. Look, I know you need to shoot off, so I want to ask you just two more things. Where can people find you on social media if you want them to?
Yes, my social media is Half a Roast Chicken. Haven't changed that. And I've got a website, halfaroastchicken.com. So all my work's on there, and you can email me as well, which is that's so old.
Yeah,
you can
email me or send me a what were them things years ago? Page me.
They might come back.
I reckon they will. Didn't you do some art with pages before? Nokias.
No, I did old Nokia phones,
which
I adore. Actually, I really like old technology. Old, is that old Nokia?
No, it's not really. I still like the Nokia because it's just about text and or snakes. Snakes is great.
I swapped my iPhone for a Nokia for like a week, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be so fun. I'm gonna like cleanse my mind, and then literally after day 2, I was like, oh.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. But yeah, if you just had text, phone calls, and a bit of snakes in there, you're set. And yeah. Well, one last question. So on my podcast, I come up with a slogan. You've probably heard this time and time again. It's pretty boring now. I keep on asking people. Be happy, never content. What does it mean to Eve De Haa?
Always strive for more, I think. And I think happiness is a choice as well. Well, that's what it means to me when you say that. Content is just kind of staying at the same level of happiness. Happiness, you have to choose. Oh, bloody hell, I have no clue. that was really good. Somewhere left.
No, that's really cool. Like, the thing is, for me, happiness, like you said, is a state of mind. For me, people think happiness is, I've got a big smile on my face and I'm upbeat all the time. It doesn't mean that. It means that even in times of adversity, you can still find the silver lining, because there's always opportunity. And that, for me, is about being happy. So when you're happy, be happy. And when it's not so happy, find angles where you can find the happiness. But strive on, because if you're just content, I believe contentment is welcoming problems. So you need to push on.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
Choice.
Yeah, cool.
No, I agree.
Nice one for the time, yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah,
for having
lovely.
me.
All right, thank you very much. And check this out in a few weeks' time. It's going to be on Woodbury House's YouTube, my podcast, and please recommend this episode to friends and family. Cheers.
Thanks.